Josh is still on the line.
Here.
Yeah, and then one here. I don't know who took that other.
Yeah, I'm still here, my,
Debbie,
camera got pretty glitchy, so I turned mine off.
Debbie.
Yep, fair enough, thank you.
Take her off of there.
I think so.
Okay.
Cool.
I think so. What paper?
This is just information, it's just updated since
One that
I
Melinda
think
gave you?
I think I sent one in a packet for you, but this is just the updated information, so.
Melinda
She-
put one there.
This is just
She
our
gave me
collections
one.
as of the 31st, our Acumed billing, the Medicare cost report that we got, we received that money. Our Trex collection program, we're up to
Beth,
11,778 in
this
that, so that's been,
She should have.
been worth it. Our copying fees
Oh,
for
okay.
patient reports, $248. And then we started an EMT class this last month, and we brought in $73.50 for that class as well. So that's the collections of the money that we brought in, just so you guys have an idea of it.
So you updated the one that they have.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. But I think it was in June or. Budget wise, I can just walk down through the sheet here. We'll come back up to the salaries in a minute if you want. Gas and oil, I just bumped that up $2,000. We're gonna be about right on track, but again, prices, I don't know what's going on next year, so we bumped that up just a little bit. Medical supplies, I asked for 2,000 more. We're pretty, we're over halfway through the year, but we're like, I think we have about a quarter of our money left in medical supplies, so, those costs again are going up. If you come down to 07 postage, I just added a couple, $200 in that as well. So that Trex program does, sometimes we have to send out stuff on that, so I'm sending out a little bit more mail than I was in the past, so I gotta get stamps now, so. Refunds, I added $750 to that, kind of running close on refunds, as well. On the second page there, on 27, paramedic training, that's $7,100. That's to take our EMTs, if they wanna go on to paramedic training, once they complete, they can apply for a reimbursement. If they sign a contract to stay here for a couple of years, that's kind of the way that program's worked. We haven't had anybody do that for a couple of years. I know last year we didn't have anybody, and I haven't had anybody this year who's been in the paramedic program, so, I pulled that out for now. Just hoping that someday if we decide to go back that way, or if you show an interest, where we have a lot of people going back, we could, institute that back again at some point in time. But for now, like I said, we haven't used it the last 2 years, so I get through that 7,100. And then I dropped our medical equipment line down. We had 25,000, I think, in there this year. And I dropped that down by 10,000 and just asked them for 15 for next year, so. As far as increases for pay, I basically just asked for a 3% increase, across the board, for our full-time people. And then our part-time people, part-time EMTs, I asked to go from $12.24 up to $14 an hour. And our part-time medics at $16.83 up to $19 an hour. And that's just to try to get, more part-timers to pick up shifts. $16.83 an hour, most part-time people can go to Kokomo or wherever, and they're in the $20 an hour range, especially if they have experience, so. And I just use myself for example, if I went to Kokomo right now, I'd be right about $30 an hour with my experience. So, if you look at the broad range, we're still kind of low on that scale. So we want to try to increase that a little bit so we can get more part-timers to try to pick up shifts, and that's probably our biggest problem right now, is it's fine to schedule them out, but when we have call-offs, short notice type stuff, it's very, very hard to get people to come in and work a full shift, so, excuse me. So, that's one reason to try to incentive to bring those people in to hopefully they'll pick up more shifts. And then the biggest thing was on the full-time paramedics, is I just was asking for one more position as a full-time paramedic, again, to alleviate those. We're using a lot of our part-time people to fill shifts, normal shift, regular shifts, and then they can't work more to pick up those extra overtime shifts, or not overtime shifts, but extra shifts. That people want off for sick time, for holiday time, vacation time, that type of thing, so.
How many do you have?
We have, we have 9 right now.
Do you want to go to 10?
Yeah.
Well, salary ordinance says you can do up to 10, so.
those paramedics are
Full-time paramedic.
We have full-time EMT, we have 10 full-time EMTs right now, and 9 full-time paramedics right now.
This is 10 and 10. So that's what the budget was
So
done
you
on.
could already,
Shoot.
So there wasn't enough money in there to fund it.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
issue.
Well, we don't know that.
I can tell you exactly how much has been spent. Hey, Doug, I have
Go ahead.
off topic question. Was 2023 the year that we're supposed to do the ambulance garage?
Actually, it was supposed to be this year, with the original plan, but I pushed that back with the jail and all that, I pushed that back to 2025.
2025?
Yes.
Where's that one go at?
What's that, the new garage?
Yeah,
According to the study that was done, out by Carroll Manor was the best location, what they came up with, so it's gonna be in the Delphi area somewhere. They put it out there because they can jump on the Hoosier Heartland and get, up, to Burroughs Rockville a little quicker, and then they're outside of town, so they can get down to Clay Township a little quicker as well.
Can you repeat the requested hourly wages for full-time and part-time?
Well, part-time would have been 3%, so.
part-time.
Sorry, I thought you gave it,
$14.
Part-time I did, part-time it was $12.24 to $14.
and that was EMT?
Yes.
Okay.
And then part-time paramedic, $16.83 to $19. If you want full-time, I'll have to.
And how many of those do you have? Part-time E EMTs?
We have about, I think, 12 of each, 12 to 13 of EMT paramedics. Part-time,
12 and 12,
12 and 13, I think. I think we have 13.
paramedics are 13.
So how many paramedic shift supervisors do you have?
3.
So Doug, if I'm reading this right, you've dropped your part-time paramedic budget by roughly $19,000, but then added another full-time
Yes.
paramedic, which is, okay, I just wanna make sure.
Yeah, so what-
I'm
so-
seeing the same way you're seeing.
Yeah, so those part-time people that are covering those shifts, we wouldn't need as much part-time to cover the shifts, because I'd have a full-timer to do it, which would then allow those part-timers to pick up, sick time, hopefully, and vacations and that type of stuff a little bit more. That's one of the issues, is a lot of our full-timers, we use our part-timers so much that, when they want a day off, they can call around and try to get somebody to cover, nobody can do it, or they've already reached their hours, so we don't want to put them in overtime and that type of thing.
So you need one more full-time paramedic, and that will cut down on the part-time.
If we can bump the pay up to the part-timers, we can, that would, incentivize those guys to pick up shifts and that call offs.
What does the assistant director, that's your assistant?
Right now,
That's all he does is your assistant?
yeah, well, he'll pick up like call off shifts and stuff too, as well. To help out, yeah,
So he also works with the part-timer?
yes. Yeah, he'll pick up, like, if they can't get, nobody can work, and we can't get anybody to do it, then we can go and stand up in that position. Or if somebody called off sick last minute, so he can, if he got some. But
How does that work when he has specific hours he's supposed to
Well,
work?
but then he won't, that's the thing, if he works at 24, then he's out of the office for, 24, and then 2 weeks, and get 40, and then it just brings him out of that. Same thing if I do, if I take up a day, then that puts me, I may not take a day off, later in the week, but then they get it out.
Is he exempt or?
Easy.
Just like you would work more hours and.
And there's stuff getting dumped, like, just an example, more and more office stuff like we just got last week notified that we have to become, because we have, we carry narcotics on the ambulances. Now we have to get certified through the state board of pharmacy, and get a pharmacy, like a pharmacy license. And then coming up in the very near future, we're gonna end up having to getting a DEA license as well. So that's a bunch more paperwork and gotta make sure we stay up on that tracking of all that.
Money,
Yeah.
DEA's $660 now.
Is there, I know the pharmacy's $100. Pharmacy, anything else?
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks,
If
Doug.
you have any questions, feel free to contact me anytime.
Thank you.
I didn't know if you guys had any specific questions to start with, or sure everybody did.
What percentage increase are you asking for personnel?
Nada and Penny and them got together, was doing the schedule, I just went off, followed them just in case. I mean, originally I was gonna do a 5 for me and then a 10 for the, or for first deputy, because I mean, right now, we're still almost $9,600 apart. And they're supposed to step in and work for us if we're gone, so I mean, they have more responsibilities and stuff.
How much did you say for that? I'm sorry, wasn't paying attention. Your
Well,
percentage for your first deputy?
I don't know what, Nate and them done the calculations, I just want a percentage of what they did, just to, in case they was to give those raises, I wanted to have it in there, so. But I was thinking like, 10% compared to the 5 that I was asking for, but, you know, everything's going crazy with everything out in the retail market now, so.
I, like you said, I'm sorry.
It's about the
That's
same.
20.
It's almost 14%.
Really? Yeah, I would say it's crazy. But,
Well, that's what I was thinking, if it was the $20 an hour, and the $19.99 or whatever,
yeah,
because of the courts.
you know, I think that's what they, like, they were going off. of.
I don't know, they
I'm not
didn't speak, I don't know what they did.
I'm not sure.
I wasn't,
I had numbers and they kinda said this is what they're doing, so I went with it, so. Basically, the part-time clerk, I put 15 in there, I mean, we can do with a little less, I mean, I try not to use, part-time help if possible, if one of us is gonna be here, I try to work my schedule around when she's taking vacation, and, we kind of negotiate when we're going to be our vacation, so we want to be in the office most of the time, but if something does come up, I mean, we're still paying like 11 or 11.45 or something like that an hour, so, I figured that, I mean, we can probably do like 750 or, we're fortunate this year, we haven't had any, time we've had to have somebody cover the office, so. Office supplies, I put in 700, it's up a little bit, I just put the cost of material, we moved 19 over to the other office, we found a lot of old supplies that we're using up, and now we're gonna start buying again, so, figured bump that a little bit.
Hey, Donnie, you haven't spent anything out of that line, it just what shows on our books, is that right?
Actually, I got a claim in now for, I think it's like $80 or $90, I bought some parts, and then we're looking at, what we're gonna do with some more stuff in that office. I mean, we had a lot of paper when we bought, back when the COVID thing hit, so, we haven't been making near as many copies and stuff like that, so, not very many people in the office.
Well, I was just gonna say, I would just make sure that you use all that this year, so we don't, I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we usually try to get whatever we can get at the end, towards the end of the year for supplies for next year, so.
But last year you only spent $20 is what the report says.
Yeah, 'cause we found a lot of supplies when we moved, and we were shut down for 4 months too, so. So, yeah, we got some things we're wanting to do in the office, getting as far as supplies, we're running low on a lot of them, so we're getting ready to place an order, so.
Okay.
Membership's still at $100, as far as I know, they haven't told us of any increases to the Association of County Surveyors. Postage, we did ask for 600 this next year, they did go up like 3 cents a piece, I think. And when we do mailings for our hearings, we have to put a stamp on the envelope, and then it also costs that cost to do a certified mailing, I guess it's called, where the post office verifies that we sent them letters out on this date and
That's
to,
expensive.
yeah, so it adds, so, I mean, we got a hearing right now, we're getting ready to do it, it's 100 letters we gotta send out, so it's $116 or whatever every time we send a letter out, so.
And certified mail's over $5.
Hmm?
And certified mail's over
Yeah,
$5,
we're-
$6.
We haven't been pushed to the certified yet, we've been using
Yeah.
this, trying to keep the cost down, so. But we did also turn a claim in, we used pretty much got all of our stamps used up now, so we just submitted a claim to take that $500 and buy stamps with it, so. We'll be getting that check next week, hopefully, so. Mileage and, meetings, I just left it the same, professional services, I left the same. And I think actually out of our part-time this year and the professional services, I transferred that 1,000 over to the first deputy position you guys had, given right at the end of the year, so I kept it within my budget. That's not on here yet, I don't think.
No.
Basically, the equipment and the field, office equipment, field equipment repairs, $100 a piece. Like that same, communication 1,000. Fuel did go up, a little bit, because, it's almost up $1 a gallon now, so. I know I haven't used, it doesn't seem like a whole lot yet, but I got, a conference next week in Indianapolis, plus, I got 3 big projects I'm going to be checking every day, running out, meeting with contractors, and, an annual conference is going down in Switzerland Gallery, so that's gonna be another 3.5 hour, 4-hour trip or something like that down there, so. That'll use up some gas here in the next month or so on that. Vehicle maintenance, I left it 1,000. Getting ready, it's about due for a service, and they usually find things wrong with it, it's a 2006, so. I always try to have a little money in there in case something small comes up and needs repaired. GIS training, I didn't put nothing in for next year, I've already been to 1 class and, haven't got the ability after that, but, spent 1 day down there training on it, and then I'm hoping to get 1 more day in this year yet, and, go from there. GIS maintenance, I did go up $1,000. We have a user fee or a maintenance fee or something there, that's $3,000, and it was divided between the assessor, myself, and the area plan. And area plan has given up their license and no longer a part of that, so now we gotta split that, at 3,000 no matter what, so we have to split it 2 ways instead of 3. So it's gonna increase my budget $500 there on that, and then also, GIS is, saying they're getting ready to do an increase for next year, and it's gonna be right around the 2%, so I'm not sure. But I just went ahead and gave 500 for that, just to cover all that, so. And then also, they did tell me when I was down doing the training, that right now we have like what they call servers, or they have servers on there, and then we have a general basic editing license. They're getting ready to go to the cloud, and when they do that, we have to go to the professional rate, and it's like a $5,000 license. And then you pay a maintenance fee after that every year, whatever, user fee, or whatever, so. They say that's about 1 year, 2 years out, so just kinda beware that we may have some, bills coming for that later on. And furniture and pictures, all that for 500. And, then on the computer and software, I did raise that to 2,000 this year. What we're doing is, with the license, we're only allowed to have 1 computer as a license. And with me doing the editing on it, and then with Beth doing the letters for our meeting, our hearings and stuff like that, doing the labels, doing research, checking all that stuff out on that, they suggested we go to, either buying another license, which I think I didn't tell you that, I had 7,800 down, we could knock it down to 6,300 on the maintenance, cause it was $1,500 for a new license, since area plan gave theirs up 2 years ago, I couldn't use it, or where else we've been only gonna charge $300, so. So, but I decided to go to the computer, it'd be a one-time fee, and then, we can remote in. Randy said that he can set us up where we can remote into the same computer, has basically all this GIS. And then, do it that route, and that way we don't have to pay the license every year, and, we both still have access to it, so when I'm doing editing, then if she's doing any kind of letters or printing out or anything like that for that, or checking any of that stuff, that we can, she can remote into that too as well, so.
So computer and software, you have one license, but you need another license?
No, we would have to have a license if we wanna both use our computers to do all editing and stuff. Like if I'm doing editing, she has to have it, just even come in to look at it. So to keep from having a second license, we're just gonna buy a new tower, and then
So you want a new computer?
new computer tower, yeah.
Oh,
And then that will be where the license is attached, and then we can both remote into that tower. Not at the same time, but at least
So you still have one license or
one
two?
license, but one more.
I'm confused. One,
one license,
okay,
yeah.
on the new computer.
I don't understand the advantage, Donnie. You can still, only one of you can use it at a time, and now you got a third computer you have to maintain.
Yeah, well, they said that it had to be attached to one computer where we can both get to it, and it was, Randy was saying something about setting it up to where we can both remote into that computer when we need it, and then, because right now, if we have it on, like, say it's on my computer, and she needs to get onto it, she remotes into my computer, I can't do nothing on my computer whatsoever, because she's basically taking over control of my computer. So we put it on a tower just by itself, then we can both remote in, and we can still use our other one to be using the computer to do the other stuff,
I
so.
see. Thank you.
Yep. And then, I think that's pretty much it. Try to keep everything as low as possible. Any other questions? Then on to drainage board, basically the only thing we, asked for was a $25 or $30 a meeting for each board member. And, then the attorney has asked for a raise for next year, ends up being about $53 more per month. Go from 5,000 to 5640. He has not had a raise since 2019, so. Or we gave the raise in 18, effective 19, so. So we just put that in there, and everything else I just left the same.
How many board members are, it's
There's
just,
three.
we need, still are three.
Well, yes, but we can also have joint boards we have to put together for other counties, and then they each have their own rates, so.
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
that's why there's such a big amount there in case we do have a joint board. We have a couple that, Paint Creek, and, there's another one that someone else talked about, we may have to form joint boards to do that. There may be some fees coming up,
So that comes out of the drainage board, or has it come out of the commissioners?
another drainage board. We can sign an attorney's fee and everything. If it's already got a maintenance fund, we can use it from the maintenance fund, but if it's new drains, we can't.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. So you went,
Yeah, Buck Creek, we
35
already had a fund set up for that, so we actually used money out of that fund to pay for the,
So
the-
25 to 35.
Hmm?
25 to 35 or
to
something?
30, I think is what I had on my paper, I believe. Man, I just asked for like $5 more meetings, they're already here, so it's not like it's like area plan and stuff like that, where people coming in at night. Well, I'm here for Cameron Yates too, so.
There you go.
And he's in Maryland doing floodplain training, so he can get certified, so take the test or whatever. He's doing another training class, they say they recommend it 2 or 3 times, so this is the second time, it's been postponed a couple, so. So, basically, he just, I think he asked for like a cost of living raise for himself, and then he raised up the office administrator with the new job description that, entails a lot more detail of what she's doing on a day-to-day basis and more responsibility she's been doing,
You
since.
guys, what page
48.
48.
So increasing her to first deputy pay, is that what you're doing?
It's not even, I mean, that's just the amount that he's asking for, well, I think it's currently what the first deputy's making, but they get raises and it would put her still slightly below, but it would be more up along the lines of a first deputy, office manager or whatever I do, or administrator or
Let
whatever.
me see. I mean, I don't see that amount, so, unless I'm mistaken.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Buckle up, Josh.